Hello and welcome to Dice Masters United. I'm Spug.
I'm Ben.
I'm James.
And I'm Peter.
Coming up in this episode...
After a somewhat longer layoff than we were all anticipating, we're back with an episode jam-packed with Dice Masters goodness.
We'll be catching up with what's been going on, including hearing about Peter's mammoth in-person Dice Masters event.
And you might have noticed that the Secret Wars expansion is out. So we begin our customary run-through of all the cards in the set, starting with the commons.
All that and more in the latest episode of Dice Masters United.
Yes, well, we're back. Welcome, everybody. It's really good to be with you. Again, we have had something of a longer hiatus than we were expecting, it's fair to say. When we signed off just before Christmas, we kind of thought that we would be coming back in January, but then we sort of got afflicted by this general malaise, I think, that's been moving across the Dice Masters community around about the Christmas time. There wasn't much going on. It's been well documented by other Dice Masters content creators. There wasn't a lot of life out there. It was kind of tumbleweed going on. And with the long wait at that point to the new Secret Wars expansion, we felt that it would be better for us just to put the podcast into hibernation than continue kind of trying to scratch around and come up with ideas for things to do. We're not necessarily the most creative bunch. So,
For yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard so much dissension. Okay, I'm not the most creative person.
Me neither.
So sometimes it was getting a bit difficult to come up with decent ideas for things to do. So we thought, well, we can just wait for things to crank up again. And thankfully, we are here. Secret Wars is more than with us. Well, it is if you're in North America, not quite so much if you're here. Although I think some people are starting to get it. We'll find out a little bit more about that from Ben a little bit later on. But it's really good to be back with you. Thank you to, well, both of the listeners who reached out to me to ask where the podcast was over the last few weeks and months. And I think I'll probably have to listen to that bit at the beginning just so I can remember what all your voices sound like. That bit where we hear the "I'm James," we just have to listen to that a few more times just so I can remember.
I can just do it now if you want.
So, guys, it's really good to be back with you. How excited are we at being back in the Dice Masters fold?
Woo!
Yeah.
Can I just mention, also, I feel like it's coincided with a general awfulness in the MCU. If the MCU had been good, then maybe we'd have stuff to talk about the terrible. I thought talk about terrible movies.
I have not even seen them.
Oh,
Really?
So bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen some of them. Yeah,
No.
Sure, I agree wholeheartedly.
They're all sort of 3-star fare, aren't they, at the moment? It's fair to say. I'm still a fan, and I'm still excited when one comes along. But I was thinking the other day, I was hearkening back to the heady days of Endgame and how everybody was talking about it, and you had to see it on opening night, and it was such an event. It seemed like the whole world was kind of getting excited about that. And, it's inevitable after such a high that things would have to come down from the peak of the mountain somewhat. But, yeah, it feels like we are struggling.
Little did we know that WandaVision was as good as Phase 4 was going to get.
Really, I know.
Who'd have thunk it? So it's really good to be back. And there's been stuff going on. Guys, what have you been up to? Peter, Peter, out of all of us, have been beavering away on the Dice Masters front because you've been doing stuff. You've been running events. You've been meeting people in person.
Playing in events. I didn't run them.
Okay, all right. It's a technicality. In my mind, you were running them, so that's good enough. What happened? You ran a huge event, didn't you, just before Christmas, and then you had another one.
Yeah. We've had 2 drafts in Zoetermeer with 12 people attending both. So
that's really good.
Those are really good numbers.
It really is. Because before that, there was virtually nothing of a scene in the Netherlands, was there at all?
Yeah, it had been pretty dead over here. There was only a couple of us playing online, and then Rick brought the scene back to life. But,
this is Rick of Dice Fight fame.
The very same, yes.
Yes. So, how did this come about? Because, I mean, there hadn't been the players, there hadn't been the people. It was basically seemed to be you and Rick, and that was about it, wasn't it, I think? But how did this happen?
Well, there were some players who had played Dice Masters before, and so he got those back in the game, and he convinced a couple other people to start playing, and they liked it, and then a community formed.
It's good.
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
It's a great game. Like, the thing is, if people played it, if it was available to play, it would have. You just need to get in front of people, doesn't it? Basically.
They're too right. Despite the drought that we've had, I mean, James, you've put together your excellent update to the Buyer's Guide video, which sets out for new and returning players, and actually for the benefit if anybody's got an interest in Dice Masters, it's worth watching. You find it on our YouTube channel. And that says that since July 2020, we're only on our 4th expansion, including Infinity Gauntlet, aren't we? Correct. There's only been 4 in that entire time. I mean, obviously COVID has had a major part to play in that, but I keep seeing on the Dim Unlimited Facebook page, these people keep popping up, or in Discord or whatever, these people keep popping up saying, "Hey, I've discovered Dice Masters and it's great."
But I've seen them.
Then they can't find a community. No, exactly. No. They don't find a community, and they find it hard to get on and play. The brilliant thing is for Dice Masters is that you can play it online very easily, so it's really well tailored for online action, which is great.
But that's not for everyone, is it?
No.
I don't think everybody likes that.
No.
Not everybody's like me.
but like, it's just such a bizarre thing, because it's such an easy game to get into and has such a great depth to it. It's like, compared to something like Magic the Gathering, which has oodles and oodles of millions of people who play it. And I don't mind Magic particularly. I quite like it. But, like, it's so much more obtuse and difficult to build a deck and to work out all the formats. Dice Masters, you have 10 cards on your team. It's a great system. It's as strong, if not better, than Magic as a game. But you just don't have it needs, people to play it, and more people to play it, more eyes on the game, and product available everywhere.
Yeah. It's. I mean, we're obviously preaching to the converted here, because we know that you're almost certainly fans of the game. But it's one of those classic games that are easy to pick up, but very, very difficult to master, because there's once you scratch the surface, the depth of strategy underneath is very deep, which is great, and that's part of the joy of playing the game, and you can play it competitively, and you can play it on your kitchen table with a random load of stuff that you've just chucked together.
Well, I mean, James played a game today, and it was very variable and interesting, and like, he complained because it was very chess-like, and you had to think about what you were doing.
There was a lot. There was too much maths. Too much maths for my life.
But you can have games like that, and you can have like games where you just swing at each other and try and hit each other 20 in one go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good game. Okay. Anyway.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, Peter, it's so great to hear what's been going on in the Netherlands, and the fact that there are people coming back or coming new to the game, because despite everything that's been going on. So that is really heartening. And you had some pictures. You even took some pictures, didn't you, of your first? So you did an event that was the first one in Infinity Gauntlet draft, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And then you did a Thor. Was it Mighty Thor draft after that?
Indeed.
Now, that is interesting. Yeah.
With
how did
foil
that go
packs.
Down?
It took some getting used to drafting with foil packs again. It's so different, because you get more cards but fewer dice for your cards. So you really have to think about more about which cards you pick, because sometimes you'll just grab a card just for the die.
Yeah.
And with draft packs, you don't do that as much, because usually two dice is enough. Maybe for the cheaper cards you'll want more, but you don't have to think so much about it. And with the foil packs, it's you have to think more.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah, I mean, Ben and I were met up in person for well, for me, what was the first bit of kind of in-person Dice Master with someone outside of my household for about 3 years, I think.
Wow.
And we did a kind of 2-person Secret Wars draft with a couple of the draft packs that we got, courtesy of WizKids. Thank you, WizKids, for sending us the preview product. That was really great to see that, and you can see the unboxing of quite a lot of that product on our YouTube channel. But we also wanted to do a draft, so we met up together today to do a draft. And actually, before we recorded it, we were just wanted to do a bit of a practice. And I had some old Justice packs that I picked up in a sort of secondhand sale ages ago and never had a chance to use them yet. And we just basically tore open a few of those and did a bit of a dummy draft just as a bit of a practice. And actually, yeah, you're totally right. You sort of forget how much drafting has been changed by the fact that you get 2 dice per card that you pick, whereas it just used to be 1. Ben, it was a strange experience, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, it doesn't work really with those old busted 2 cards in a bar. I have fondness for them, but draft packs are much better, really.
Yeah, without doubt.
It doesn't quite give you like the junky type hit of just buying 1 pack for £1, you know.
Yeah,
no, that's right.
That's true.
But
yeah, I remember the first time I ever saw the game in person was I went into a local game store a few miles away, and there was a couple of guys who'd obviously familiar with the game, and they were like, "Oh, well, I'm just going to buy a few draft packs," and he bought about half a dozen, and the bloke was just opening them in the shop, and he's like, "Oh, this one, oh yeah, that's Norman Osborn, Don't Call Me Gobby. Oh, that looks quite good." Yeah, only the best card in the game at the time, but hey ho. So that was quite the pull, and he just got that from just picking up a few random packs out of the shop display, which is pretty cool. But Ben, you have been Secret Wars, we know, is available in North America, but it also seems to be eking out on this side of the Atlantic as well. And in fact, you were very excited just after I arrived at your house today, because the doorbell rang almost immediately after I arrived, and there was a delivery guy on the doorstep, and he handed you a package from a board game retailer, and you were like, "This is my Secret Wars draft displays." What happened next?
Nothing but sadness. Yeah, so we opened another. We sort of looked at the box and like, oh, maybe it's a little not quite right. Does it look the right size? I don't know. Is that the right size? Open it up, check the packaging. Spug was like, "Oh, this is there's different packaging. Is it a new thing? Is it a new packaging?" I was like, huh. Looked at the front of it. It said, what are they called? I don't know what they're named. I don't know them. Origin pack. Yeah. Like, wait, what? That's not okay. So yeah, they sent me 16 Origin packs. I've got 4 on the way. 2 for me, 2 for my housemate.
Oh no!
Sidekicks for days.
Yeah, I know. If anyone wants some pink sidekicks, I guess. So anyway, hopefully the situation can be resolved and I get my display. But yeah, that was a bit disappointing.
Yeah. So if Ben gets stuck with those, if anybody, it's a bit like the what was it? The Yu-Gi-Oh factory sets that you won when you dominated the World Championships a few years ago, and you ended up with about 3 of them in your back pocket. Now you've got sidekicks coming out your ears.
Yeah.
Just on a side issue, on a related issue, somebody on Facebook was writing that their local store would only sell those Origin packs as the display, or rather, they would only order it. They would only order it because I suppose they're worried about not selling it. So they would only order it if the guy paid for the whole display. So he would have to find, another 7 people, or I don't know how many he wants, but another 7 people to share the flipping thing with. So that's a bit awkward, isn't it? If the store won't do it for you.
That's tough.
Well, I suppose I might have to do some selling of it at UKGE, go around throwing people.
Yeah, you should take out a stand.
Yeah. But come here. You want to buy an Origin pack? You want pink? You want pink or blue? Got a load of blue.
What's the Resident Evil? Resident Evil 4, have you guys played that? Where the guy in the big trench coat comes up to you and opens his trench coat.
Oh, is that what that's from?
What are you buying?
No, yeah. I've seen the meme, but I didn't realise it was from that game. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good game.
Oh yeah, good stuff. All right, well,
a GameCube exclusive, don't you know? Resident Evil 4.
Was it now?
Back in the day, it was made to save GameCube as like an adult game.
Wow.
They only had kid games. GameCube.
I probably have it somewhere, but I've not played it.
GameCube is the best console of all time. And Resident Evil 4 was very good, but then it got ported everywhere else.
That's probably a debate for another day and for a different podcast entirely.
This is what we should have been talking about in the downtime.
The GameCube was great. I will give you that. And it's cube shaped, so it's Dice Masters related.
That's true.
Yeah, you could roll it. I wouldn't like rolling that.
Try rolling it. It could be an expensive activity, that. And James, you have been busy on the video front. We've got lots of videos as the YouTube channel has whirred back into life, haven't we? Been going on. So you've been keeping that going with some videos with Jason and gameplay and origin packs.
Had a bit of a break, but then sort of kept myself busy. When the spoilers started seeping out again, I kept myself busy updating the spoilers page and making videos with Jason initially, and then since we actually got some product, also with you and Ben most recently, but they're not out yet, I think.
It's been good. It's been good to get back into it again, and it's good to be with you again. Well, shall we move on to the meat of this episode, shall we, and get into our review of the Secret Wars Commons? Okay, well, unless you're a Dice Masters fan that's been living under a rock in recent days, you will know that Secret Wars is out. And it's been our custom to walk through every card in every new set. We've done this since Infinity Gauntlet, haven't we? We've walked through every single card.
Yeah. The reserve pool mantle, I believe.
Oh yeah, it's been quite the episode, and we're starting it again. And we are looking at every single card in this expansion. We're going to start with the commons, move on to the uncommons, then the rares, and finish up with the super rares and probably the basic actions in one particular episode. At the end, there's a real mix of stuff. There's some new characters. There's some returning friends. There's some things that we've never seen before in Dice Masters, which is exciting. So, shall we begin our walkthrough of every single card in Secret Wars?
Yes, let's.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah. Well, Peter, as you spoke first, do you want to give us the first common that we are going to look at? Agent. Oh, before we do it, I'm just going to say we must this time try to resist the temptation to talk for too long about the absolute dross, right, Ben?
Sure. But I mean, we should mention the new thing with the commons in that there's quite a few blank cards here.
There are a bunch.
Four. I think there are
Five?
Four.
Oh.
Four. No, four.
Okay.
But they all have nice
four.
art treatment, which we, don't talk about on the show.
No. Well, we will. We will mention them for sure, but maybe we don't get bogged down in them. So, okay. Peter, why don't you kick us off with Agent Brand, which I think is a new character, isn't she?
Yes.
2 Dice Masters.
Indeed, we have not seen her before. We have seen her dice before because they were Sword Agent dice before. She is a 2-cost fist character. And she says, while Agent Brand is active, your character dice get +1 defense. And so her stats are 021, 022, and 132. Yeah, that's not bad for a 2-cost, giving all of your characters +1 defense. Can be pretty big with sidekicks, especially in draft.
It can be pretty mediocre as well, I would say.
It's not super exciting, but it's pretty decent.
I don't know. It would have been pretty useful today with Ben's KO antics with a card that shall remain nameless. But I can think of situations where I'd quite like to have +1 attack, like also against Overcrush, +1 defense. Yeah.
Yes.
When if you've got a bunch of characters in the field, that's a total lot of extra defense, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Adds up.
Keeping your sidekicks alive as well compared to your opponent's sidekicks. Like your sidekicks will up against them and survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not bad.
We've seen Shocking Grasp, but Shocking Grasp is back in this set, isn't it? Which is the kind of the opposite of
Throwing Brick.
Thorny Brick, thank you. Just the name escaped me for the moment. Where that one preps if it KOs something. Obviously, if your psychics are 2 defense, they're not going to be KO'd by a shocking grasp. Ping.
Yeah.
So she's got value. She's got value. That is for sure. Ben, do you want to move us on to Apocalypse, please?
Apocalypse Obsessive 5-cost bolt. Nice red color banner now. Overcrush 267, 256, 135. I feel like there are much better options in the set and outside of the set. So this is not great. Not terrible, but not great.
Yeah. His stats are decent, aren't they? But I feel like they're maybe being a little bit left behind now by some of the big numbers we're seeing.
Yeah.
Make it a 4-cost. It'll be good.
In a way, 4-cost would be a bit more in fitting with what we've been seeing.
It would still be worse than Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
4-cost.
True.
I wonder if this is the first Bolt Overcrusher, though. Bolts are normally Overcrusher.
We've done an episode on that. I don't know. Probably not.
Know. Yeah, probably not.
We'll look into that.
Probably not.
I'll look out while we move on.
Yeah.
Let's not dwell. Yeah.
Okay, let's not dwell. James, you are the beast.
I am beast Olympic athleticism, which is it's very true. Actually, I've been doing
yourself
planks.
Again.
I have. It's a 2-cost fist with the X-Men and Infinity Watch affiliations. It's max 3 for some reason. It's a 021, 122, 132, so it's the more attacking statted version of his dice. And he's got regenerate, which is reroll when KO'd, or actually when it would be KO'd, I think. Well, I for one am not excited about that.
You're not.
So he's okay. It's fine. I don't really want to talk about it at length. 2-cost.
Yeah.
It's all right. Stats are fine. I'm not really a big fan of regenerate personally, but it could be useful.
We mentioned Overcrush in the previous card, just for the benefit of the listeners who might not be aware. How does regenerate interface with Overcrush?
It does not.
Very well.
It does not stop Overcrush.
No. So the thing will get KO'd, the overspill damage will go through, but then you might get to return it to the field afterwards, but you don't do it before the damage is done.
It also gets removed from the attack step. It gets removed from the attack zone.
Yeah. So for the purposes of Overcrush, it will be gone.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thank you for...
But for the purposes of when KO'd effects, does it trigger when KO'd? I think it doesn't, no? Weirdly.
I think that's correct, isn't it? Yeah.
It's weird that both of those things can be true.
Because wasn't that to do with Alfred, wasn't it? Your old friend Alfred, if he returned to the field, he didn't count as being KO'd, did he?
Alfred was not regenerate. Alfred did count as a genuine KO, but regenerate characters did not and do not.
Okay. Okay.
It's a KO replacement.
Yeah.
Good clarification.
But it does count though for stuff like Dark Phoenix Global, right?
Oh.
Yeah. You can use that for the payment, and if they come back, you still will have paid the cost.
Yeah. So it still works for when cleared payment. But it doesn't count for when cleared effects like retaliation.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they are genuinely KO'd, which they could be, of course. Yeah. But if they regenerate, they are not. Good stuff. All right. Well, there's a regenerate primer for those who've forgotten what that meant. Shall we move on to Black Panther, Peter?
Yes, Black Panther, Clutching Reality, 5-cost mask character. He has Energize, roll 2 dice from your bag. When fielded, roll a die from your bag. So, not so great. But he does have the Avengers and Infinity Watch affiliations, and he has Thanos stats, which is pretty good.
Right, he does.
So it's 157, 278, and 288.
Well, not only does he have Thanos,
the Infinity Gauntlet.
He does. I mean, he not only has Thanos stats, he has Thanos' die. He's stolen it.
No, it's literally. It's just it's just the Infinity Gauntlet stats. If you look at it like that.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And it does have the gauntlet
one
in the
stat
picture.
is different. One stat is different because I did a proxy of this and I had to change one of. In fact, I've got the card handy. It's the top level. the top level, he's a 288, is he?
Yeah.
And Thanos is a 399.
Oh, is he? Right.
Oh.
I'm actually looking at the card, so yeah, there you go.
Oh, then this is better than Thanos. I prefer one less attack for one less fielding.
I agree. Yeah.
unless you have one of those globals, of course.
That's true.
But if you have to pay the cost, then I prefer this. But he doesn't have overcrush or anything, and the energize and one field effects are not exciting.
Yeah. No.
If either when attacks, roll a die. Well, actually, that would be worse.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, and as I think we've said on this podcast before, you don't really want to be paying 5 for something that you just want as energize.
Yeah, exactly.
Generally.
Indeed.
Next. And the return on investment is not very good when you're having to pay 1, 2, or 2 to field him, and you only get to roll 1 die.
Yeah, that's not great. It's like with the old Gambit. Yeah, you always have to pay to field him, and you would only get 1 extra die out of it, so it wasn't really worth it.
No, exactly.
There's some interesting re-roll abilities in this set in general. But
there are indeed.
Not for that one.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that a bit later on, I think, in this particular walkthrough. But Ben, move us on to Black Swan, will you please?
Yeah, Black Swan serving Rabum Alal. 166, 155, 144, and a 3-cost bolt. Oh, we like Black Swan stats. Speaking of which, Black Swan was a previous overcrushing bolt.
Ah,
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah. See,
there's quite a lot. Yeah. So, anyway, when fielded, the next shield character die you purchase costs 2 less, which is interesting. That she makes a character type other than her own reduced in value. Should we say it? Good in draft. If you have, to be fair, if you have a shield character which is a 5 cost, something that clears the field, and you want some cheap stats, this could find a place on the team, I suppose. I don't know what that card is, but I could see someone using it in a pinch. It's interesting, and you get a return on investment. So it's 1 to field, but you get 2 discount.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Pretty good stats for a 3 cost.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, 6/6,
2.5 home match score.
Is it?
It was blank. Yeah,
that's good, eh?
Yeah.
Now, just remind people what that is, because I can never remember the explanation.
So, you take the average attack plus defense, and then you divide it by the purchase cost plus the average fielding cost.
Yes.
And then you get a value, and if it's 2 or more, it's good. And
she's
2.5 is pretty good. Yeah.
The best ever is what? Is it the new Harley Quinn or something? Isn't it?
That was like a 4 or something. I don't know.
Something bonkers. But 2.5 is good.
And she has an ability to boot, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Her stats are not far removed from the Apocalypse we mentioned earlier. And, okay, she doesn't have Overcrush, but she does have another ability, and she costs 3, not 5.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And the fielding costs are better, so Apocalypse is a no-no.
Yeah.
That's an Apocalypse no.
Oh, James, however.
Now that's a W.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, well, it seems apposite that you should give us Captain Britain now then, James.
Captain Britain, Baron of Higher Avalon.
In your best British accent.
He's a 4-cost mask. While Captain Britain is active, your opponent can't field character dice at level 3, don't you know? He's a 1/3/3 1/4/5 2/7/7. Where have we seen this before? I feel like that there was a thing where you had a team which
like a black cat or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. There were 2 cards that you had, and one of them stopped people fielding level 3s, and the other one knocked out level 1s or something. So it was
the Triceratops from D&D.
Oh, that's probably the one. Yeah.
I wouldn't quite that. That was a good combo.
Yeah. It's the 4-cost. I mean, it's all right. I mean, I wouldn't play it personally, but on a fun team like that, if you could stop them fielding level 1s and level 3s, that would be
fun
quite
for
you.
Yeah. Yes, it was black.
Fast.
You were right. It was Spider-Man, the old Spider-Man, whatever it was, set that had the black cat in it.
Maximum Carnage.
Yes, that's the one. She was also a 4-cost, but she had way worse stats than this Captain Britain, who obviously has a 7/7 on top side, which is pretty decent. And that could be very irritating, couldn't it? I mean, not being able to... So basically, it means that you only got 2 sides that you could roll your characters on, which does, which actually could be quite the pain.
Yeah, it's super annoying to play against.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess the thing is, it's sometimes super hard to play against, and sometimes it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't do anything, yeah.
No,
true.
that's right, yeah. It all depends on what your opponent rolls.
It's not worth the slot on your team. But
no,
if you're playing against it and you roll a level 3 character, you're going to have a bad time.
Sure. But there are probably more annoying things that you can field that you can buy for 4.
For sure.
That.
Without doubt.
The Triceratops was cool, though. The super rare Triceratops from TOA. While he was active, when an opponent fields a level 1 character die, deal damage to that character die's attack. Triceratops attack, which was a 3/4/6 attack.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. I like that card.
Yeah.
And it had shared card art with the Allosaurus.
Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow, good knowledge, James.
Captain
Peter.
stats are good, though, just to mention.
Yeah. No.
Captain Britain stats are good, yes. Although his level 1 side is a bit feeble, isn't it?
Yeah, 277 for a 4-cost, though.
All right, Captain Marvel, Peter.
Captain Marvel, Alpha Flight, 4-cost shield character with the Avengers affiliation. She has 143, 256, 267 stats and reads, while Captain Marvel is active, your character dice get +1 attack and +1 defense. It's pretty decent buff to your whole team. It also has an attack buff, so it's better than Agent Brand in that respect. Yes. But it's also more expensive and more expensive to field. But still pretty good. It's not super competitive, but it's flying sidekick stuff. There have been worse buffers.
For sure. Yeah.
And she's got the same stats she always had and has never cost 4 before, I think. She's always been a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, this is the cheapest Captain Marvel we've had, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course she'll buff herself as well.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's actually 7/8 on top level.
Yeah. So that's better than Captain Britain.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. I don't really like seeing Captain Britain being outshone, given his heritage and all that. But hey ho,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with
that. Okay, Ben. We got our first text list character, Colossus. Please read us the text.
Colossus Inferno. It's a 4-cost fist, 144, 165, 277. Has some fingers on it.
Yeah, he's just a 4-cost.
Are these the worst Colossus stats we've had? Speaking of good stats, though,
are they?
I don't know. I feel like isn't he normally an 8 attack?
I think he might have had an 8 before. Yeah, I think you might be right. Let's do it. There's nothing quite so exciting as people.
What's the Homash score?
Yeah, he's tended to have an 8 attack.
It does have the same symbol as before.
They've done that though. They've done that with a few things. Like I could just mention the Thanos die. They've taken the old die cast, but they have actually tweaked the stats.
That is a little annoying for proxying.
Yeah, that's right.
It is a bit,
All right, I will just mention the Homash score on this one. It's a 2.06, so not bad.
Not bad.
But
so
also not great.
Move on. We're not dwelling on vanilla cards.
We're not dwelling on vanilla cards. No, we definitely aren't. So, it's James, and it's Corvus Glaive. Oh, this is good.
Corvus Glaive, the Black Order, 3-cost fist with a villain affiliation. When fielded, KO a character die you control. If you do, the next die you purchase this turn costs 2 less, to a minimum of 1, with the stats 021, 131, 031. So it's the same as Proxima Midnight as was. It's that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But with better fielding. He's got 0 fielding on 2 faces, so you on those faces you get a proper reduction. That's really quite good.
It's really good.
Yeah. They like that.
This is really good.
He's got very weak defense, so you can just throw him at your opponent, and if they let it through, that's 2 or 3 damage, and if they block it, then he's guaranteed to get the reduction next turn. All good.
Yeah. I mean, we've known for a long time that a 2 cost reduction makes a big difference in a purchase cost. That's why we love the Dark Phoenix, Blue Eyes White Dragon, all those other globals. But this is essentially 2 times out of 3. It is a true 2 cost reduction because you're not even paying anything for it when he comes up on his level 1 or his level 3 side with his 0 fielding cost, which is so great. So it really makes a difference in terms of picking up those beefy cards. I mean, Ben, we played a little bit with this today.
Yeah,
I won't spoil the result for the benefit of those who want to watch the video.
Piece, which you used it with,
but it's it's super good.
Because I really like the Proxima. I thought that was a good card. The fact there was always one, and also you're right about to mention the defense. It's always one on Corvus Glaive.
Yeah.
Sometimes Proxima Midnight had the thing where this is a 1/4/4. I feel like maybe I should keep it in the field for stats. I can attack with my opponent.
Yeah.
Kira's Psychic instead. But then this sometimes got caught up in the field. Whereas even if you choose to keep Corvus Glaive in the field, if you swing with it, it's going to get cycled out anyway. Because they either let it through or it dies.
Yeah. I've been on the receiving end of a team of Jasons which used Corvus from the previous set, presumably Infinity Gauntlet. The one where you return stuff to the cards. You buy a bunch of really cheap pizza action dice or something and return to the card when he's fit. And, you're stuffed, aren't you? Because he can, that, it's not super competitive, but that if he's coming at you, you either let it through and you take the 2 or 3, or you knock it out and he's got, a 75% chance of rolling it next turn and doing the direct damage to you from returning the bloody pizza.
Well, the 3 damage is just enough, isn't it, to be, annoying quite quickly.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's right.
I like it, yeah.
It's really good, and I think it's up there, definitely up there in the conversation for best common in the set. Spoiler alert.
Best so far, I'd say.
Yeah, best so far.
For sure.
James, you found this. I mean, you've always hated, though, this Proxima Midnight, didn't you? Because you hate the idea of not having a field presence, don't you? You felt like that's come back to bite you because you're basically putting stuff in the field and then removing it immediately. You've never really liked that.
Yeah, I think what Ben says about the stats, though, I was always tempted to keep her in the field, especially if I rolled her on that, top face. Was it 4/4 or something? I don't like throwing away stats like that, and so I put it on the team to get the reduction, and then ended up using it for stats. And there are better dice for that. So maybe I'll try again with this.
Yeah,
maybe.
Sure. Okay, who's up next with Dazzler? I think it's you, Peter.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah,
Dazzler, another new character to the franchise. Dazzler Lightbringer, 3-cost bolt with the X-Men and Spider Friends affiliation. 021-133-234 seems to be the same stats as Jubilee.
Yeah.
But maybe they changed it, but they kept the dice. I heard that the dice are really nice for this one. And she says, when fielded, deal 4 damage to target mask character die. That is very specific.
It is.
I don't know how useful that's going to be.
No. I mean, is there a specific mask that you really want to remove that has defense 4 or less?
It's not even a mask itself. You can't even self-care. It's so...
No, that's right.
Also, it's not quite Jubilee. The top level is 3/4, which is the inverse. 4/3.
Good point. Yeah, it's another little bit of jiggery pokery, isn't it, with the stats
to make it more annoying.
Yeah.
To proxy.
I will say it's a Spider Friend, which means that Molecule Man Super Rare can make it cheaper. Sorry, spoilers.
Oh, this is your new hype, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that today. It can make it cheaper to field and buy, which makes it totally okay fielding cost and totally okay price, and it returns to the field if you do damage with it. If you do combat damage to your opponent. So, there's that. But on its own, no. That's a no.
That's no from me.
It's no Bobby Dazzler.
You have to have your own. You have to have a reason to do it for your own team, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's also when you read it in the actual card, the purpleness of the mask kind of goes in with the purpleness of the background. So I know when I saw it, I just read it as deal 4 damage to target character die.
Yeah, I did the first time.
Which made it pretty good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, actually, there is an interesting point on that, isn't it? In this whole redesign, which we've obviously talked about quite a bit already. I mean, when the first cards were revealed, we did a whole episode on the podcast and we mainly talked about the redesign because there was a bunch of stuff going on there. But one of the interesting things they've done, you've said it there, Ben, is they've now colorized the global symbols for each
which is good.
For each type of which is helpful. I mean, not so helpful if you're not if you don't see certain colors. For some people, that could be a challenge. But I feel like they've made the symbols smaller for some reason. Like I really like what they've done broadly with the cards. I think they look great. They've cleaned them up. Removed the extraneous energy symbols because everybody knows what the energy symbols are going to be on the rest of the dice. There's no point in showing that. And the way that they've colorized, red is now lightning, green is now fist. They've given each of the colors each of the types of energy a visual color to associate with themselves with. But it feels like they've just made those images just a little bit too small when it comes to the globals, and particularly when there's ones when they've got a slash.
Exactly,
they're so small.
The double ones are really hard to read.
Are they that bad in real life? I don't know. I can't remember them.
They are, I mean,
I can remember them being that much of a problem today. For
those of us who are of a more advanced age and maybe struggling slightly with getting the right prescription glasses, they are small. Take it from me. So anyway, there's my rant over. Should we move on, Ben, to Falcon?
We shall take flight. The 3-cost Fist Avenger. Are we reading the stats upwards or downwards?
So 022 is the level 1. So
that's what you used to do. 022, 133, 143. I want them down, up.
Yeah, no, you got to do them bottom up. Yeah.
I want them the other way now because of the redesign. Anyway.
You can't.
Falcon, 3-cost Fist, take flight, 022, 133, 143. As a team watch, you prep a psychic from your use pile, so team watch triggers when you field another character that shares an affiliation with Falcon. He also has the Old White Tiger Global, which is pay a fist once during your turn. Each player must field a psychic from their use pile if able. Like the Global, like the Power, if it's this has a place. This has a place.
Yeah.
But it's not fancy. It's good.
Yep.
It's solid, isn't it? I think solid is a decent assessment of this.
Great global in the right circumstance and a good power in the right circumstance.
Yeah, and it is cool. Actually, I think that team watch thing, if you built an Avengers team...
You have a bunch of Avengers already. Yeah.
That's really great. You field a couple of characters each turn and you get a couple of bonus sidekicks that help your use pile as well. That actually could be really helpful.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you'd want to spam a bunch of Avengers out? Not off the top of my head, I can think of one.
Not really. I mean, if you use it in conjunction with Captain Marvel, for example, that we talked about already, everything gets buffed by 1 attack and defense. So your sidekicks become 2/2. That's not bad, is it?
No. It's not bad.
It's not amazing, but it's not bad.
But that global is fun, though. Especially with some force block and overcrush action.
That was great on I used to be on a Wolverine from UXM, the best there is. Yeah, it was a good 3-turn win there.
Good times.
You can force your opponent to have a sidekick when they don't want one.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Becky Lynch and Booker T are no longer around, to put it that way.
Yeah. That would have been bad.
Yeah, that's painful. Okay, well, that's a solid card. And now we're moving on to we're in uncharted territory, James, with... I won't ask you to read this in a way because it's obviously textless, but there is something specifically good about this Franklin's Galactus. Tell us what it is.
It's called Earth Shatterer. It's a 5-cost shield with a villain affiliation, and it has 4 character sides and only 2 energy sides.
Yes.
And he goes 033 258, and I think it's 31010.
31010.
It just says AA in the team builder. I'm assuming that's a 10.
Yeah,
you mean
10.
You're not reading these from our spoiler gallery, James?
No, I'm looking at the because some of those images are a little blurry. Now we actually have the text in the thing.
Okay. Right.
I've actually prepared I was showing Ben earlier today. I've prepared a proxy die for this by taking a bat signal die and sticking a sticker to it which says 31010 for its character.
It just so happens it always rolls the 31010s.
This is kind of tricky to proxy, isn't it, with an additional side? But it is cool. I mean, I like it that WizKids is branching out in different. They've given us some new win cons with Hellfire Gala, and obviously, spoiler alert for a future episode, Black Panther in this particular set. But now we've got a character with 4 sides. Peter, how much do you like that?
It's nice that you're almost guaranteed to roll a character face on this. His level 1 is not great. You kind of want his level 4 for the juicy stats. Mm-hmm. But it has its advantages. Although it's going to be really hard to get double energy on this when you need it.
That's true. There's only one. There's only one double energy side. That is true.
Yeah.
But you did a Homash calculation, didn't you, for this? Because obviously it's got 4 sides. It's a bit weird with the 5-cost shield. How does it come out?
It's a 1.81. So it's a little under the good values.
It's got huge total filling cost, hasn't it? Like 7. That's
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I did divide that by 4 though, but it's still pretty high.
I'm not sure.
So but with the fielding globals, it's not as bad, and who doesn't want a 10-10?
And Orion global. Orion is useful to have on a team as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's that one, Ben?
The Orion has the spin up level. You pay a fist to spin a target character die up a level.
Yes. That's good.
And he's a shield, so you can use Black Swan.
Yay.
For discounts, yes. Excellent.
And
Corvus Glaive for more discounts.
Yeah, Ben, you described the artwork as kind of gnarly. I know we don't talk about artwork on a podcast, obviously, being that we're not a visual medium, but what was your comment about this?
In the draft, but it was the fact that it was shiny as well. It's just dead bodies strewn across the floor. Ooh, it's shiny. It's shiny dead bodies.
Yes, it is. It's a bit kind of R-rated, isn't it, maybe? But
I thought they were tree trunks at first, but they turned out to be human bodies.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. There is a lot of bad, but he is called Earth Shatterer, so he's shattering some.
Oh well, from one fancy character to another fancy character, I suppose.
I guess so. With God Emperor Doom, and Peter, we're back to you again.
It is God Emperor Doom harnessing the Beyonders. He's got 135, 256, 267 stats, and he says when fielded, deal 3 damage to target character die and reroll target character die. So that is pretty gnarly.
It is pretty gnarly.
It's a 6 cost, but still, it's one probably guaranteed removal, and you reroll another die. So that's, and he's got some decent stats, I suppose. Not really that great, but
I can feel Ben's disapproval.
When you first read it, you're like, okay, this is pretty good. Is it good?
Is it good enough for a 6 cost? Okay. No, because we have like the what's it called, the Pip the Troll. That's a 5 cost that rerolls two things. You have
it doesn't reroll them though. It doesn't reroll.
Guarantees get rid of them.
It just spins them down.
Yeah. Since now, that's even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that great.
And let's move. Sorry, Ben. Let's move on generally from Doom. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. And Ben, you've Goddess of Thunder.
Yeah, that's one. Thor Corpse 2-cost mask 021122132 classic Storm stats.
Indeed.
Where it says Goddess of Thunder, not Storm. And the Goddess of Thunder gets +5 attack while you have another active character dice with Thor in the name or subtitle.
Yes.
So she could be a
+5.
7/1, a 7/2, a 8/2 for a 2-cost. That's pretty
8/2.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
That's insane.
The cheapest Thor core is
4.
4? There's a 4.
Well, the cheapest Thor is
4.
is a common. Yeah. We will come to it.
I mean, there's a pretty good Thor that I like that needs stats. So
yeah. She's really great. I mean,
Impressive.
8.
I like this
8
one.
attack. I mean, blimey.
+5 attack is funny, isn't it? There used to be what was the Kyle Rayner? They used to get +5 attack and +5 defense.
From War of Light, was it? Something? Or...
Yeah, I thought that was just hilarious. It was convoluted. But +5 attack is just hilarious. That's just too much attack. Actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
she's got some really good. Well, I mean,
she's a max 2 though. So
yeah.
Oh, good point.
There's that.
Yeah, it's interesting they started balancing 2 costs like that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good thing.
This should have been on your Thor team today, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should have. That's what I was just thinking. But don't spoil that, I suppose. Yeah, because that Thor team wants to clear the field and then have stats to swing through.
Yeah.
It certainly has, yeah. I mean, you feel like this. I mean, we say it's damning with faint praise when we say something is good in draft, but she could be an absolute beast in draft, couldn't she? Because she won't be constrained by the max dice count, and you can pick up a common Thor that only costs 4. We'll come to him later on, but it shouldn't necessarily. It might not be that hard to pick up a Thor, and I think players are going to have to be aware that if they're drafting and they see Goddess of Thunder dice and they see Thor dice, they might want to pass on one or the other because somebody could get a pretty horrible combo out of that quite easily.
I suppose it's one way you want to read the rainbow, huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Thor stuff there is.
Yeah.
So there's Thor. There's Stormbreaker Ray has a Thor corpse, and a Groot that has a Thor in his subtitle.
Speaking of Groot,
yes, we're on to Groot next.
So 7 cards in total have Thor. Sorry.
All right then, James, do it.
Groot, skilled investigator, 5-cost shield with a Thor core affiliation. When fielded, roll 2 dice from your bag. I think those are probably standard Groot stats. So it's 012, 126, 237. I don't think we need to talk too much about that. It's it's all right. For 5, I think I'd rather get something else personally.
Yeah, and hard to refield.
Yeah. Yeah, when fielded with massive defense stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be playing 2 to draw and roll 2 dice, do you? Let's face it.
No, let's crack on.
Let's move on, Peter, to... Well, this is another first, and this is a big moment in Dice Masters.
Yeah.
We have not seen this particular character. Who is finally here, Peter?
It is Invisible Woman. Yes. We can finally get to complete the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Her subtitle is also Dr. Richards. She's a 2-cost mask, and she has the Fantastic Four affiliation, obviously. And she reads, Invisible Woman gets +1 attack for each of your other active Fantastic Four character dice. And she also has a global pay mask target character die must block this turn. Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. What's your assessment of how good this one is?
She has a 012023025 stats, so no fielding costs at all. That is always nice. She also has no die image, which is fitting.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that is cool.
The fielding is amazing. She has pretty decent defensive stats. She get some pretty decent attack stats on top of that if you have a couple of other Fantastic Four character dice, and you might want to get more of those for the upcoming Black Panther.
Yeah.
And force block, that is mean. So, yeah.
It certainly is. Yeah. And there is a bunch. I mean, people might think, for each of your other Fantastic Four affiliated character dice, and you think, there's only 3 of them. And actually, for some bizarre reason, the Human Torch isn't in this set. I don't think has anybody really quite got to the bottom of why that is.
I don't get that. I'd like
he was
to know
too good.
They just refused to put the original Fantastic Four all together in one set.
He's already been good enough. He's already been good enough.
Yeah, it is kind of strange. But there are a bunch of other characters. So Namor, Black Panther, Molecule Man, they all have the Fantastic Four affiliation on at least one version of their card. So there are other Fantastic Four characters around in addition to obviously Thing and Mr. Fantastic. So there are a bunch of options available if you want.
To be fair, though, I think this card, whilst perfectly okay and fine as a draft pick, outside of draft, it's just on Fantastic Four teams, or it's for the global.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
And the global is a great one. It's worth pointing out for Overcrush, for example, because if you don't know, you want your overcrushing characters probably to be blocked so that they stay in the field, so that you can do the same thing next turn.
Yeah.
So you can just force a sidekick to block it for you.
There are a lot of good 2-cost masks.
Yeah,
there are indeed. All right, Ben. Let's move on to Jane Foster, shall we?
Doctor 5-cost shield Thor core. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
145 256 368 3. Horrible. Okay. When fielded, gain 2 life and gain an extra 2 life for each of your other active characters with Thor in their name or subtitle or the Thor core affiliation.
Yeah.
So as I said earlier, there's 7. Well, I don't know if I said it earlier. There's 7 Thor characters with name and subtitle.
Have Thor in their name.
More Thor core characters, obviously. Corp.
Yeah.
Gaining life is not brilliant. But this is a lot of life gain.
It is a lot of life, yeah.
It certainly could be.
Potentially.
It wouldn't be that hard to gain, 6 life but when fielded.
Yeah.
You've got Dark Phoenix to KO her. Bloody hell,
I know, horrendous fielding, but then I suppose that's
Robin
balanced out, yeah.
Or Molecule Man.
Yeah, I don't mind this.
As life gain goes, it's one of the better ones, right?
Definitely one to keep in your back pocket for those life gaining.
Niche tournaments.
Yeah, they're going to be banned. Be banned in that, surely.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to do the Goddess of Thunder +5 attack Thor thing, this is almost an auto include in that team, isn't it? Because you're going to have Thor core characters coming out your ears. You're looking at a nice amount of life gain if you need it.
Maybe.
If something bad happens. In case of emergency.
I think it's one you kind of pull out of your binder. You're like, okay, this might go in this team. And then when it comes down to it and you have to pick 10 cards. This is not going in that team.
Yeah, that's true. There are better 5-costs out there. All right, well, Jimmy Woo, James.
Woo!
Jimmy Woo, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. As a 2-cost bolt with a S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation, fittingly. Jimmy Woo can't be targeted by opposing effects. 012, 022, 124. I've nothing to say about this. It's the fielding costs are fine. It's a 2-cost bolt if you need bolts, and it's got the S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation if that's useful to you, but otherwise not particularly exciting.
No, the only exciting thing about this card is this is the one that everybody thought was going to have 087 stat. Because that would have been exciting. Agent page. But no, his top level is 124. So sorry about that, everybody.
What was the set we last saw the S.H.I.E.L.D. character symbol in?
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
Probably
S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Need to know basis. Yes.
Probably slightly different stats again, or not.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I don't know. Possibly. Wouldn't surprise me.
Ben, stat check. 124 sounds not familiar, but
124. Wait, from who? Sorry.
S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
1222 124.
Oh,
it is the same. Yeah.
Good. At least that's one we can proxy.
There was a Guardians of the Galaxy. There was a Dum Dum. Dum Dum was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Oh, there you go. Did he have those dice?
No, he didn't.
No, he had a different image.
But he was S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, well, Peter, do you want to move us on to He Who Remains, the man at the end of time, Kang himself?
The prophetic revelation is a 3-cost mask. He has 133, 134, 245. So that's the old Kang stats, I think. And he reads, while Kang is active once per turn, a player may pay 2 life to reroll a die in their reserve pool. I mean, it's not great that you're giving the ability to your opponent as well.
No. Or is it? Or might you want to tempt them into it?
It might be a trap, and then they pay 2 life, and then
exactly, it's the parallax trap, isn't it?
But can you? How many times? Yeah, you can only do it once per turn.
Yeah, once per turn. Yeah,
so
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
go on, Ben.
I think I'd prefer something that's one-sided, though.
Yeah,
but then I suppose if you had some way to mitigate the life damage.
Yeah, like Foster, Doctor.
Yeah, I guess so. It's paid life as well, so you can't even do like a reduction for damage.
Mm-hmm.
But very interesting.
It's a cool ability for sure.
Powerful ability, yeah.
Yep.
Unless you roll like me or James. That is terrible.
Lose 2 life and gain nothing.
Yeah.
On your turn, lose 2 life and be miserable.
And gain absolutely nothing. I mean, I suppose it gives you the opportunity to, it gives you a sort of a get out of jail free card if you need to reroll a character that absolutely didn't come up this time and probably won't next time, but you never know, there is a chance. But also it gives you a second bite of the energized cherry, I suppose, if you're on that particular train. Because obviously the energize will trigger when you, at the end of your roll and reroll step, won't it? But then it would also trigger if you rerolled it again during your main step.
Someone like Adam Warlock would be good with this, no?
Tell us more.
So Adam Warlock lets you re-roll characters.
What
does that one do?
There we go.
I'm going to try and find it very quickly. What does that do?
Recorded Googling. Talk about yourself. We'll have a brief intermission.
Okay,
timestamp noted.
Adam Warlock. While active, when a die with energize, spend its energy and leaves the... Okay, never mind.
We'll scratch that bit. That was a total cul-de-sac. Let's move on to King Hyperion, shall we? And Ben, it's your turn. I'm
still on that Kang. Okay. The Captain Marvel blows up the field, re-rolls the field. That could be... I don't know. That's win condition. Anyway... King Hyperion, 21195, 5-cost shield, 144, 255, 266. Okay. While King Hyperion is active, when an opponent uses an action die, deal 2 damage to target character die. Can be very good with something like Shocking Grasp. Actions where you can trigger them multiple times. Could be a little bit of a board clear with that kind of thing happening.
Yeah, but you're reliant on your opponent using action dice.
Oh, it's your opponent. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not that good.
It's not you. Okay, I thought it was you. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Lane.
Push on.
Move on, James. Madeline Pryor.
Madeline Pryor, Goblin Horde, 2-cost mask. Energize. Field a psychic from your use pile. That was a Psylocke ability from a previous set, I think. Maybe. While Madeline Pryor is active, your psychic dice get +1 defense. So that's the same one that we saw on Agent Brand. Well, no, just restricted.
It's just for psychics. Yeah,
just for psychics. But she's got only, she's got 013, 014, 124. So it's another good, cheap mask die. And that, clearing out psychics to thin your bag ultimately is a good thing. So I can see that getting some play, but not hugely exciting, but definitely could be on the list of cheap masks to choose from.
Yeah, it's like a better Psylocke that had the same energize ability.
Yeah, it's fine.
For sure.
It's fine.
We move from a goblin horde to a demon horde now. Peter with magic.
Whoa, sorry. Yes, she's a 3-cost mask. She has 023, 034, and 145 stats, and she reads, while magic's active when you use an action die, field a sidekick from your use pile or prep area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer the previous one. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not...
Shocking grass?
Yeah.
I was
grass.
thinking that. I think it's decent with a recyclable cheap action like shopping grass.
Yeah.
Okay. You could field the thing you kill with shocking grass right back, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Or get one from your use pile.
Or from which is better.
Yeah, guarantee you have it. That's okay. I don't know if I'd put it on my team just for that. At 3 cost.
Yes.
Exactly.
If it was 2, maybe even more tempting. Reasonable stats for a 3 cost in the new.
There's some way of instant wars coming back, right?
It is. Well, it's in this set, yeah.
So you get 3. They get 3 psychics. You get 4 psychics. Maybe.
If you use, yes, if she's active, that's correct. Yes, you
hard
would.
to line up, but
yeah,
it's all right.
Miss Sinister.
It's all right. Okay, and it's Ben. You
Bar Sinister 3 cost bolt 141252263. These are Miss Sinister stats, but kind of a little wonky, aren't they?
He's normally more defensive.
It's a different symbol as well.
It's from UXM, isn't it? It's similar to the UXM, but not quite. I think we looked it up before. Okay, anyway, if Mr. Sinister would be KO'd, you may KO one of your psychic instead. When fielded, lose 1 life if you don't have any active psychic characters. I see what you're putting down.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I don't like it.
No. You get a 6 attack potentially, but it's for 3 cost, but it still costs 2 to field.
It's kind of fun. I guess he's hard to get rid of.
Notable for being a cheap Mr. Sinister.
Yes.
Right.
That is unusual. Yeah.
If you want, there's probably some utility in. I can see this being one of those cards where someone like has a team based around it, which is like really wacky, but can do like quite a bit of damage. Like in a year's time, someone like, oh, really? That card? That's the card you're using.
Yeah, true. James, move us on to a character who did have a thing or two to say in the original Secret Wars comic from the mid-1980s, Molecule Man.
Molecule Man, Owen Reese, is a 2-cost shield, and he's vanilla, which means he's a textless common full art, and it looks quite nice, I think. He's a 011, 022, 255. His stats are really quite good on the top level. Don't think there's much reason to get this in preference to something else, really, unless you want cheap shields.
New favorite card.
A solid 2.0 on the.
I like scale. Other versions better. Yeah.
Yes,
but, fair enough.
Yeah,
yeah. We're not dwelling on vanilla cards. I think
we're not dwelling on the vanilla cards. No, we're not. We're definitely not. But interestingly, he hasn't even got any affiliation on that. You know, his other versions.
He's as vanilla as you can get.
He really is. Yeah, he
looks pretty. I like how it looks.
Make him a 1 cost with that black swan.
Yeah.
No, don't own that.
Right, stop it. Peter, now you can move us to Mr. Fantastic, who's Mr. with an MR, as opposed to Mr. Sinister, who gets his title spelled out in full. Puzzle that, if you will.
Nobody knows why, but he's Mr. Fantastic Stretch, a 3-cost mask character with a 115, 226, and 227 stats, and he has Team Watch, move up to 2 dice from your use pile to your bag, and he has the Fantastic Four affiliation, obviously. I mean, if you're building a Fantastic Four team, moving dice from your use pile to your bag could be pretty good, but not super exciting.
No, there are definitely better versions of him. I wonder if he's Mr. MR because he's just waiting to stretch his title out to the full.
This card would be good back in like AVX days.
It what, Ben?
It would be really good back in like AVX days. Like, It's one of those powers where
Actual
you think,
ramp.
this is kind of cool, but you play it and you're like, okay.
It's churn, not ramp.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not even ramp, is
All
it?
right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Crack
You're
on.
right. Okay. Who is it? It's
Me.
Ben. Yeah. Namor.
Namor, King of the Deep, 3-cost shield, 255-144-033. I can't help it, I'm going from top to bottom. When Namor blocks or is blocked, he gets +3 attack, so he's a 8-5-7-4-6-3.
Yes.
Without any reason for that. But pay a shield target character die gets +1 defense. I like that buff.
Yeah.
Handy global, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice
decent.
global.
The +3 is pretty useful as well.
Yeah.
Would have been a good way to get around the Master Mall tokens. Could be a good way to get rid of. He's pretty cheap. Like stuff that clears Master Mall tokens.
He can handle some stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Defensive piece, aggro piece, not bad.
Give him Overcrush. Go to town.
Yeah. I don't hate him.
Yeah.
But we have that Miss Sinister, which makes Overcrush, right?
Yeah, there's a global for that. So
Or the
that's right.
Psylocke. Yeah. You can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty solid. James, Phoenix Force Cyclops. And this really feels like a blast from the past because obviously it's not really since the old days of the OP kit with all the Phoenix Force stuff. That we've seen this sort of thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Let's not get into the controversy surrounding his other one, at least one of his other rarities. Let's just stick to Phoenix Force Cyclops. Bonded to the Force, he's a 5-cost bolt. When fielded, choose an opposing character card, cancelling all previous choices. That character, I think this has already been corrected. They issued some corrections just today, and I think this has been, I suspect that this has been corrected to dice of that character, not, just to clarify. Dice of that character get -5 attack while Phoenix Force Cyclops is active.
So if there's multiples, they all get the -5.
I think so. I probably ought to check that, but I think I did read that today. He's a 155-277-38. That must be 10.
It is 10.
Yeah,
yes.
another 10.
Pretty impressive stats. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what you can do with reducing attack. I suppose you can use it with the
Arch Nemesis.
Arch Nemesis Global. Yeah, that could be quite.
That works.
Exists,
something
right?
you don't want them to keep in the field. That's and he's got stats, so that might see some play, I guess.
What does Arch Nemesis do, please, for those who don't know?
Makes the defense equal to the attack of a target character die.
So
if they've
it's
got 0 defense and 0 attack, and you make the defense equal to that, they immediately get knocked out.
yes,
Bye-bye.
good point. Very good. Yeah, I mean, for 5, getting an 8-10, that ain't bad, is it?
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Right?
I like
Not
it
to be
quite a lot.
sniffed at.
I think there's some real potential here. It's a shame you can't win tokens.
Yes.
But yeah, no, this is cool. I like it a lot. Even if you just named the Master Mod itself, that would go a long way to...
or your opponent's Overcrusher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It seems like they're definitely tending towards here's a big beat stick
Yes.
that your opponent's going to have. So to have this on is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a decent bit of defense. And it's not something that generally people are going to want to taunt off the field, is it? Because it hits big with 5, 7, and 8.
Does it make a team over something like Drax, which just stops them from fielding your character?
True, yeah. Well, why not both? As people would say.
The thing is with Drax, you have to get it out before they field their character, and you can get this one out afterwards and still...
Yeah, it's a good point.
And
That's all right.
so gross. Yeah.
Pretty decent.
I like it a lot, yeah.
Proxima Midnight is up next, Peter, and so are you.
Yes, Proxima Midnight, Impossible Endurance, 3-cost shield, 131, 142, 144 stats, and she has Regenerate. Next.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, fairly unremarkable in many ways, isn't she, really? Okay, Ben, Scarlet Witch, this is a bit more interesting.
Chronokinesis, 4-cost bolt. Can't help it. 153-033-1013.
Stop reading them upside down.
It's top to bottom.
But it's bottom to top. Anyway,
okay,
yeah.
Scarlet Witch stats anyway. 153 on top level, great. 013 on bottom level is free to field.
Yeah.
While Scarlet Witch is active, you can re-roll the dice in your reserve pool at the end of your main step.
Yes.
Again,
that's interesting.
Another great one for... I see the Kang is interesting, though, because you can do it outside of this step.
Yeah,
it's an unfortunate moment to re-roll dice, because if you roll characters, you can't field them anymore.
Yeah. I guess
true.
you get to choose which ones you do?
Yeah, you can choose.
So it gives you a third reroll, effectively.
I mean, yes, I assume it's not an all or nothing effect. If you've got 3 dice in your reserve pool, you don't have to roll all of them or none of them.
Yeah, it's a weird timing at the end of your main step. Very strange.
It gives you another energize opportunity, obviously, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose if you don't have characters, but this is a little bit like that Thor, the uncommon Thor, which I suppose we'll get to. It creates a new timing window, which is kind of because once you do this reroll, you have to go straight to the attack step. There's no hey, I rerolled this. Can I field it now?
Yeah.
No.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, because you're doing this as you're moving to the attack step or the end of the turn.
Yeah,
if you skip the attack step.
Which hasn't existed before. I suppose they give you another chance at some energy if you can't, use a thing, or an action die.
Action dice, yeah.
So I like it. It certainly cards like this, which kind of give you extra real stuff, don't tend to see a ton of play in competitive.
No,
but we'll see play in someone trying to fiddle with something.
Yeah. I don't like the art though. But that's just me.
Agreed.
Thank you, Peter. James, Sheriff Strange, who looks like he's staying up past his bedtime.
He's a little yawny boy.
I reckon he looks like, what's the bloke's name from Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Oh. Yeah.
Donald Sutherland.
Wow.
Sheriff Strange, Isle of Agamotto, 4-cost mask. While Sheriff Strange is active, when you use an action die, reroll target character die. 033 146 258. So he's had his stats tweaked, I think. I'm not really interested in him, but as you mentioned, a shocking grasp earlier. I mean, that's a thing for sure. But beyond that, not bothered. I mean, it's 4-cost with big stats, but there are better cards, I think.
We've seen a lot of play a few years ago with the Throne Brick.
Throne Brick, yeah. Because you're really irritating. Yeah, sure. But he's seriously been nerfed, hasn't he, from his stats, anyway, because he was...
Yeah.
We've never had a Sheriff Strange.
Okay, all right. He's a different character in that sense. But it's essentially Doctor Strange, isn't it? Who was previously 4, 6, 5, 8, 8, 9.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't hate that. This is a good active ability. It still has a good defense.
Yeah. He's too tired to have big stats.
He has better fielding, though, than the old Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true, yeah. Yeah, that 3-cost was rotten.
I think this is pretty good.
Pretty good, says Ben. Peter, please bring us Spider-Gwen.
It's a Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, a 3-cost bolt character. 022035046. So that is pretty good because her old dice had terrible fielding costs.
Yes.
And on her level 1 phase, which is a burst, she cannot be blocked. So you can have some shenanigans there. Attack with her on level 1, spin her up, and hit for 4.
Very nice.
Or use Superman.
Or Superman.
James' Secrets.
Or, stuff like that. So,
What does the Superman one do, Ben? That's the Superman Kryptonite Crisis one you're talking about there, isn't it?
James is the Superman Pro.
I have the card on my mat. When Superman attacks, target character die has its attack changed to 6 until end of turn.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, because the unfortunate thing is that her attack on the level which is unblockable is 2.
Yeah.
So you need to spin it up, and in fact, if you have a spin up global, your opponent could spin it up before you move to the attack step, which is kind of irritating. And if you don't have it on level 1, then you'd have to spin it down so it's unblockable, and then spin it back up again so you get some sort of decent attack. Her stats are fantastic. I'm not the ability is more appealing in theory than in reality, I suspect.
Yeah.
But shenanigans.
Good stats, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
I love
she's great.
Yeah,
She's all around good.
Field cost is just incredible. And just as a defensive piece, just having her out there.
Yep.
Is very useful. What's the thing that gives what's the Superman Kryptonite Crisis guy who has bonkers stats?
Orion. Orion?
The Fate.
Oh, the one that has Madden stats that go like 0 and then like
he gets
8,
the attack, doesn't he? There's a common that gets the attack stats, right?
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't give the stats. Never mind. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. I think that's something else.
Okay, edit
Let's
that.
transfer power out.
This is a good time to mention Molecule Man again because let's not forget, not only does he make her cheaper, okay, the fielding cost doesn't matter, but it makes her 2, but also, if you do manage to get that unblockable through, when you've got him active, she'll just come back to the field. So you get to do the damage and keep your field.
Nice.
Most of her things bring her back as well. She's just, I think, all around good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, well, Peter, I think you can very quickly bring us Spider-Man common.
Yes, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. He is blank. He has 033, 144, 155 stats. So didn't he used to have like a 1 fielding on this level 1? Or was that a different die?
I feel like it was free. I think it was 1 across the board.
On his Scarlet Spider, maybe?
Yeah, maybe it's a different die. Anyway, he's a 2-cost Fist character with the Avengers and Spider-Friends affiliation. And at a 2-cost, he gets a pretty good 3.0 homage score.
I figured he's very strong.
Very good. Yeah.
He's also a max 2.
2 affiliations, though. Nice.
2 affiliations, so that there's potential there, unless you're facing uncommon Thor.
Yeah, not ideal. But no, super good. For 2, we've never seen a 2-cost Spider-Man, have we, with these classic Spidey stats. So, even though he might be abilityless, he is definitely not powerless because his stats are great. For a 2-cost 5, yes, please. So,
and 2-cost fists aren't generally brilliant anyway. So,
but this is.
Yeah, since Serena. Apart from Black Widow, Serena.
Yeah.
This could go well with the Beast, the uncommon, which we'll mention next time. Maybe.
Yeah, or you pair him up, slap a load of these out, and pair him up with the Bishop that doubles the printed attack stats of everything.
Yeah.
You mean Cable?
Sorry, Cable. Yeah. Then that could be fun.
Any pressure. If you want some Avengers or Spider-Friends characters, this is not a bad one to have.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pretty cool. Okay, Ben, Star-Lord.
Leading the Guardians, 3-cost fist, Guardians of the Galaxy affiliation. Bomb top 124, 235, 255. When fielded, your character dice get +1 attack. Just why? I don't understand why they do when fielded effects and then give it bloody 2 on level 2 and 2 on level 3. So annoying.
And high defense stats.
Defense stats. It's okay. 1 attack tool, your board is decent. I think I'd rather go with the Captain Marvel that gives +1/+1 permanently.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it was like +3 attack or something across the board, then it might be a bit more interesting.
That'd be more.
But 1 is just feels a bit underwhelming, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, James, let's move on to Stormbreaker Ray.
Stormbreaker Ray, devoted to Doom, 4-cost shield with a Thor core affiliation. Stormbreaker Ray can't be blocked by character dice with cost 2 or less.
And his stats are?
146, a 157, and a 278.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's not bad for a 4-cost. Good in draft.
Yeah. You can't jump block it, so...
No.
Yep.
If you get this out early, it's basically unblockable. So
it's a sort of battering ram. Yeah, unblockable early game and then a battering ram late game. But
this
outside of draft,
No, this Black Swan could be a good combo in draft.
With the one we talked about earlier. Yeah.
Both of them
get a 2 cost. Yeah.
Yeah, it builds pressure pretty quickly, doesn't it? With stuff that can't be blocked easily. And in all likelihood, even if you get something to block it, there's a reasonable chance it will get knocked out because he hits pretty big. So
yeah,
pretty good. Okay, Peter, Terex,
another new character for Dice Masters. The truly enlightened. He's a 5-cost fist. He has 155, 266, 277 stats, and he has, when fielded, roll 2 dice from your bag, which we've seen a lot of already.
2, right? We have, yeah.
So it's unimpressive.
Yeah, there's definitely a better Terex in this set. Enough
For sure.
said. Ben, the maker.
Stretchy, twisted. With God's Mask. 115, 226, 227. Good defense. When the maker is blocked, you may spin this die to the level of the blocking character die.
I
don't know
why that would be helpful.
Are these just Mr. Fantastic dice?
Yeah. I don't know the lore, but I suspect he must be some version of Mr. Fantastic.
Some evil version.
Recolored.
Because he's also stretchy.
A very good maker.
Yeah, there's a better maker, and it's not this one, so let's move on.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so Ben, it's back to you again. No, it's James.
No,
sorry.
I just did
You did make
twisted.
Apologies. James, then please give us Thing.
Thing. What time is it, Mr. Wolf?
It's clobbering time.
4-cost fist with the Fantastic Four affiliation. Stats are 133, 255, 277. When fielded, KO target shield character die. This is another one where there are better versions. This doesn't have the glow ball, and KOing shields is a bit specific, although it would have got rid of that bloody Thor today. So.
No, Thor's a bolt.
It's a 4-cost. It is a 4-cost.
The other
Thor a bolt? I thought it was a shield.
Jane Foster is a shield.
Oh, well, then it's less useful. But I just noticed it's a 4-cost. So that's more stats, but otherwise uninteresting.
He's still got that really annoying, massive discrepancy, hasn't he, between his level 1 and his level 3 side, where it's 3 on level 1 and then 7.
I think that's kind of appropriate because the Thing sometimes is pathetic. Like sometimes he's like ridiculously, depending on the comic, ridiculously good, and then sometimes he's just like absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
Could KO your own master molds if you had a master mold.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you're not
very niche.
Yeah,
very niche.
You're just going to use Dark Phoenix for that, aren't you?
I think by the time you've bought the Thing, you should have already won with master mold.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you want to, if you have a thing for the Thing.
Yeah,
I suspect he's probably asking what time is it, because he can't get a wristwatch that is big enough to fit his very large
no, because he only uses sundials.
Oh, maybe.
Right.
Well, what if it's night time?
Okay.
Exactly, that's why he's confused.
Enough of this.
What time is it? It's time to move on.
Let's move on, yeah. Peter, Thor of Higher Avalon.
Yes, the Thor Core Investigator. He is a 4-cost bolt. He has 153, 164, 276 stats. He has the Thor Core affiliation, and when fielded, roll a die from your bag. Where have you seen that before?
No, wait a minute. I think you must be reading the wrong one, because we've had this like 17 times already.
It's a very uninspired, but he's a cheap Thor Core character. Stats are all right. So yeah, that's about it. It's a nice if you look at it as a blank card with a nice bonus, I suppose. But you don't want to buy him just for the win fielded effect, obviously.
No. I suppose if you think about like this set as a soft reboot, you kind of want abilities that just let people roll a bunch of dice, right? So if a new player is approaching this, they put this on their team. It's kind of fun. Us as like hardened players who play this for a long time, look at it and be like, you're paying 2 to field it, you're rolling 1 die, you're an idiot. But a new player...
Way to welcome a new person.
I know. This is like, I have a character on the board, it's rolled me a die. It's like the Gambit, but better, right? Yeah. I can see why there's all this re-rolling stuff. because that's what's fun about the game, right? Rolling dice.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, they've all had a correction to draw as well. There was a slew today of corrections, and it seems that they forgot on about 15 different cards to write draw, and wherever it's written roll, and it's pretty obvious, but wherever it's written roll, it now says draw.
No, you're supposed to hold your bag upside down and roll one die from it.
let it dribble out.
Yeah. Oh no, I've rolled 2. Shit.
I suppose some people might interpret it as you can choose the die that you roll.
Maybe.
If they don't say draw and roll.
I'd add a whole new tactical element, I suppose, if you had to just empty your bag, but only one die could fall out. Otherwise, it was null and void.
You lose. It's a new win con.
Add a skill element.
The thing we haven't said about this, and we should just reiterate, that obviously this is the one that pairs very nicely with the Goddess of Thunder character.
You see, that said, I'd go with the uncommon. For one more, you get a much better ability.
True.
So it is the cheapest Thor.
If you just want to do it cheap.
Yeah, but you can get the Stormbreaker. That's also a 4 cost.
The Stormbreaker is that 4 cost, the one that has Thor in his name.
Oh, it doesn't have Thor in the name. No,
it's not in the name, but it is.
Oh, no, it's 5. It's 5. It's 5. Yeah, but that doesn't count then.
The Thor core doesn't count for Goddess of Thunder. The actual Thor name.
5 cost,
the uncommon does have Thor in the subtitle.
Yeah, but
it's 5 cost.
That's 5 cost.
Never mind. So get the Thor for the Goddess of Thunder.
And Ben, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, this is the first full art bad boy we've seen. I don't know which one's.
Yeah, well, there's only 2 of them.
This one and which one?
This is Star-Lord Rare.
Okay, so this is the first full art potential one. So you can find this, even though it has text, it's just full art. Anyway,
full art alternative art, as opposed to the commons, which have no text, which are just full art, but it's not alternative. It's a little bit confusing.
It is very. This what did you dub it in the buyer's guide?
This is a fat character by my nomenclature. As opposed to a fat back.
Fat cat. Okay. Ultimate Spider-Man. Life, Raft, Stowaway. 3 cost bolt. 133 143 254. You may field Ultimate Spider-Man for free. Quite like. It's nice. Do you go with this over the 2 cost one? Probably not. It's max 4, I suppose. It's a bolt character as opposed to a fist character, I suppose.
When you're talking about Spider-Man, yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's the blank Spider-Man, which is a 011, has slightly better stats than this does.
He is a different character, though, right?
Yeah, you could play both.
You could play both in your team. Yeah.
I don't hate this. I like the artwork. I like Ultimate Spider-Man as a character because, I like that comic run. But this is not the best.
A few years ago, a 3 cost that gave you a 5/4 level 3 side would be amazing. Now, not so much.
054.
Yeah, exactly.
It's free to field. So if you look at it like that, it's 2.44 on the Homesh scale.
Wow.
So,
that's pretty good.
Bit of maths. Yeah.
It's the same as Ghost Spider-Gwen.
Oh, yeah, nice.
But he has more aggressive stats, so you can choose what you like.
Pick your poison. Okay, well, we're at the final one. And James, I think you have the honour of reading us Wolverine.
Wolverine, Savage, 4 cost fist with the X-Men affiliation, and he has deadly. And his stats are, wait a minute, they're wrong in the team builder. The stats in the team builder are completely wrong. Somebody else tell me what the stats are.
132 144 154.
Oh, that's a very huge disappointment. I'm sorry. No. Everybody else gets a stat bump. You got all these massive stats floating around, and Wolverine, known for having extremely aggressive stats, gets nerfed.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a bit more. Well, actually, I'm not going to enter Wolverine. Okay.
Into the lore. No, come on.
He kind of sucks as a character, doesn't he? Like,
yeah.
He literally does. His character is he always gets beaten up.
Yeah, and then he comes back.
How can he have massive stats? He just gets beaten up. He just tries very hard.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. An 8 is too big.
You don't know the 8 attack. Come on.
Is there any other large sections of the Dice Masters community you'd like to alienate, Ben? I'm just wondering.
when he goes into his berserker rage, he gets huge stats.
That's so dumb. Okay. Yeah. I quite like the stats here. I like the 1 all the way across. That's at least consistent.
You're not going to play that card, though, are you?
No.
It's not going to see much play, apart from the Wolverine fans out there, maybe, and even with those, they might struggle just to bring out a full-cost character for not very great stats and deadly ability. Not brilliant. All that remains in our commons review is for us to pick a favourite. We've had some decent ones there. I think for me, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say that Corvus Glaive, the ones that
so generous of you.
No.
Go first. Choose the only.
Well, I'm giving you the chance to think about it. I'm giving you a chance to think, because if I spring it on you, you might just sit there in silence, stewing for a moment. So I thought if I talk for 30 seconds, then I can give you all the chance to review your lists and
we've got to
pick your particular favourite.
But anyone choose anything that isn't Corvus Glaive is the
I like that Thor call.
Okay.
Goddess of Thunder, and I like Spider-Gwen as well. Yeah.
Okay, James, thank you. Peter?
Yeah, same as James.
Oh, that's okay. Both of them. You both want to pick 2 each. That's kind of cheating.
I'll pick one, and James can have the other.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Which one are you picking?
Choose, James.
I'll go with the Thor core, the Goddess of Thunder.
I really like Spider-Gwen.
You can't pick Spider-Gwen. Come on.
He did.
James only likes it because of Molecule Man nonsense.
It's still good.
She's great. She's got 0 fielding and chunky stats. And she's got a nice card art as well.
All right, Ben, what are you picking?
I'll choose any other slightly reasonable one.
You don't have to choose something different. You can say Corvus Glaive if you think.
Fine. Phoenix Force, Cyclops. -5 is hilarious.
That's good though.
Yeah.
It is
To be fair, that one is good. The Goddess of Thunder is good with the +5 attack. +5 attack, -5 attack is good. Spider-Gwen stats are decent, and then the Corvus Glaive is the best one, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some up.
Sounds good.
Jolly good. All right. Well, what is your favourite? Do you agree, disagree with anything we've said there? Have we missed anything? I'm sure we have. And there must be some nuances that we haven't thought about on some of these cards. Do let us know by getting in contact and by using the contact details at the end of the show. But we're going to finish our little roundup of the commons and move on to a few bits of AOB. Okay. Any other business? We'll just rattle through a couple of bits of order. James, Dice Fight. I think you have got a bit of Dice Fight news. You've kind of handed over the reins now, haven't you? Really, and you're sort of retiring from the Dice Fight scene. In terms
to be fair,
organising.
Danny, the aforementioned Rick and Danny have been running it for quite a long time already. in fairness, thank you very much to them for that. They've done a sterling job. The only thing really that has changed is that I've finally handed over the reins of the spreadsheet, so they've got full autonomy now. So thank you, fellas. Keep up the good work. Jolly good, excellent.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's a Thursday night online friendly tournament. It starts at 9 p.m. UK time. And it's normally 3 rounds, isn't it? On a particular theme. And it's a lovely, friendly little community if you fancy a bit of dice rolling on a Thursday night, and particularly if you're European based, it's a great little thing to get involved with. I'm sure that the roster of people potentially playing from the Netherlands must be expanding by the moment based on your work, Peter. Eh?
I don't know if a lot of the newer players are playing online, though. But...
No computers in the Netherlands, you see.
Okay, let's knock that on the head before it goes too far. Okay, we've got another bit of tournament news coming up. There's Roll for the North 3, which is kind of like the unofficial online Canadian Nationals that is being run by those good people over at DM North on the 22nd of April. Peter, it's a pretty complicated format, isn't it? I think they're operating this time, but broadly, what's happening?
So you swap out one of your sidekicks for an action die, which will be the wish, limited wish from back in the day.
Yeah.
So you build a team, 8 characters, max 5 costs, and you also build a sort of a side team of wishable characters. And when you roll the limited wish die on an action phase, you can roll 2 of the wishable characters, and ones that land on a character phase, you can throw into your use pile. So it's an opportunity to play the really expensive stuff for a change without having to ramp up to it.
And they're kind of promoting the idea is that you build a team that bases itself around controlling and ramp, and then have this sideboard where you get these mega monsters which no one's ever played. These kind of come in and drop bombs on people.
Nice. So if you want your blooming 9 costs.
Purple worm.
What's that thing? Yeah, the purple worm.
The goddess. You can play like the. You can play all the. I suppose you could do like all the Yu-Gi-Oh god cards. You know.
Yes.
Dragon of Ra.
Super rares, Stompa. You can get
that's the idea.
Thanos, stuff like that.
And they're promoting. There's a bunch of like rules, extra rules. So go look up their website. They're trying to promote these kind of crazy, off the wall picks.
But you can win some cool prizes, can't you? I think someone told me there might be some Hellfire Gala stuff up for grabs. Is that right?
Oui, there are.
That is correct.
Yeah, so exactly. So if you want a bit of that, then get on down there. It's the 22nd.
Multiple
online
sets.
Nice.
Yeah, Jordo must have mugged someone. So.
Are people in Canada just kind of walking down the street holding? No,
they're just very nice, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, find out more if you want to take part in that. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for. Well, are we calling this season 2? Is this season 2, episode 1?
Season 2. Yes. I like
DM United regenerated.
We've been rebooted. We've turned from David Tennant into Jodie Whittaker.
We clear replaced.
Skipped a couple of doctors there.
Yeah. Okay. But we've been away for a while. Maybe that could explain it. We didn't immediately.
Phase 2.
Phase 2. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
DMU reborn.
Exactly. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been good to have your company again. It would be good to hear from you if you want to comment on anything that we've talked about. What's your favourite common? Are you part of Peter's group in the Netherlands? Can you tell us what's happening over there and why you're getting back into the game? It's been really good to hear about that. James, the best email address to contact us with is?
hello@dmunited.eu.
Good stuff. Don't forget to like, rate, and review, and also subscribe using your favorite podcast app so you can be the first to know when a new episode drops. We've also been pumping out various videos on our YouTube channel, DM United, so don't forget to have a look at those and subscribe to that ever-growing community. Otherwise, that's all that we've got time for in this particular episode. It's been really good to have you with us. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
The quantum realm makes no sense.
Bye-bye.